Hey, welcome Trulies. Today's class is going to be yin on the floor. So go ahead and take a reclined position. Laying on your back, bend your legs, place your feet flat on the floor and about mat width apart, all right? So not hip width, wider than hip width, nice wide stance. Arms can be out to the left or to the right, left and the right, or take your arms overhead like I am going to do. This is my preference. It feels really nice for me. And then take a second to just kind of wiggle around and get a feel for the current state of your low back. Find a nice sweet spot for yourself to ground down into the earth with. Okay, and then once you're there, shut your eyes. Take a deep breath in. With an open mouth, sigh a deep breath out. Repeat that. Full breath in. And sigh, exhale. Let the breath drain out. Third time's the charm. Take in a full inhale. Sigh and let go as you exhale. Now start to incorporate movement with your breath. So on your next exhale, let your knees slowly drop over to the right. And inhale, bring your knees up. And exhale, you guessed it, drop them over to the left. Inhale, bring the knees back up. And then just continue like this, going side to side, slowly. Let the breath gradually get longer, more full-bodied. And so the movement of your physical body will slow and pace on the rhythm of your breath. One more time to the left. And bringing your knees straight up again. Next, draw your right knee towards your armpit and hold on to your shin if you can reach that comfortably. Back of the thigh is fine too. But draw it down onto your shin and then slightly draw your knee towards your right earlobe. So there's downward pressure and there's pressure towards your head. Take a deep breath in and clear your breath out. Now come into half happy baby. So stick your right foot straight up in the air. So your heel is over top of your knee. Either grip the back of your thigh, your calf, your ankle, or if it's easily within reach, hold on to the bottom of your foot. And then let your knee drop down towards the mat beside you, as though you're gonna let your knee rest on the floor. Your left knee, so that's the free leg, just let it tilt open. You're not trying to push it open. There's no effort there. Just let it lean open and let gravity do its work. Left hand, take your left hand and just let it lay on your tummy and breathe into the palm of your left hand. As much as possible, as though keeping it natural, move your breath in through your nose and out from your nose. And at any time when it feels appropriate to let a sigh out of your open mouth, go ahead and do that. It's a really great way of discharging pent-up energy that's sitting inside your system. So if the body asks, respond. Okay, release your right foot and now kick your right leg straight up towards the ceiling. Try to have your heel over top of your hip, but no closer to your face than that. Hold on to the back of your thigh now, so right at the hamstring. And press your leg firmly into your woven hands. Press firm enough that if your hands were to slip apart, your foot would go flinging to the ground. So you might feel this primarily in your hamstrings, but for some of you, you'll feel this more so in your back. So it looks like it's just a hamstring opener, but it's also a low back release. Okay, that's why I'm asking you to keep your leg straight up and not bringing it closer towards your face. Now, keeping your leg in this position, rotate your right thigh bone so that your toes turn diagonally to the right. Maintain your breath. Be present with your body. Okay. Next shape, cross your right ankle over top of your left thigh. Some of you will leave your left foot on the floor. Some of you will place a block beneath your left foot for a prop. Otherwise, take what's called reclined pigeon pose. So holding on to your left leg, whether it's at the thigh or the shin, and then draw the package of your legs towards yourself. So this is a slightly more complicated shape than what we've been working with. So rather than getting wrapped up in getting the posture perfectly correct, allow your mind to travel through the body in more of a scanning method, just to identify where you are holding tension, where you are holding strain. And then once you locate a strain pocket, a tension pocket, use your mind to orientate your breath into that pocket for full release, or at least, partial release. And at the very minimum, for awareness. Last breath in here. Go ahead, sigh out, exhale. Okay. Release your left foot to the floor. Keep holding onto your right knee. Straighten your left leg down your mat. And now take a reclined spinal twist. So take your right leg over to the left and let your right arm unleash to the right. Now for me, this is a little too tight. So I'm gonna fold my left leg up so it's supporting my folded right leg. So both my knees are bent in my reclined spinal twist. And again, with a scanning mind, a mind of observation, find the tense spots, find the stuck spots, and let your breath go to work. Let the breath begin to release and increase awareness of the body. Deep breath in, sigh out, and release the spinal twist. Let's do all of that again now on the second side. So left leg, your left leg, draw it in towards your armpit. So it's in a good deep fold. So I feel a little bit of a pinch in my hip flexor when I do this. So I let there be a slight pinch, but I definitely don't push this in my body. Instead, I'm aiming to relax the muscles in my hip as much as possible, even in my jaw, as much as possible. So I'm not only looking or feeling into where I'm primarily holding on, where I'm primarily holding tension in my body, but I'm also scanning and noticing secondary places of tension. So residual tension. Come into half happy baby now. So again, stick your left foot straight up in the air. Hold your thigh, your calf, your ankle, or the foot bottom, and let your knee drop down towards the mat on the left-hand side of you. And you'll recall your free leg, which is your right leg. Just let it tilt open. And then find your way into your breath. Find your way into your body via the breath. Deep breath in. Clear from an open mouth, sigh. One more time, just like that. Deep breath in and exhale, sigh your breath out. Okay, kick your left leg straight up. Hold at the hamstring, so not your calf, okay? Hold at the hamstring with both of your hands. Your ankle is in a deep bend. Push your heel up. Even if your leg doesn't become entirely straight, do your best to keep your ankle in that deep bend position. Now brace your leg against your hands. So I notice in my body that the second side is considerably tighter. And I'm trying not to understand why or to go back into what my habits are. Instead, that may have caused the imbalance in my body. Instead, I'm just going to remain with the sensation. I'm going to stay present and allow my body to talk to me, to let it communicate with me. And my mind, I'm trying to be there with my mind and be receiving with my mind, listening with my mind, rather than calculating and analyzing with my mind. Next, you're going to rotate your thigh bone in your hip socket so your toes turn out now to the left, while bracing your leg into your hands. Okay, reclined pigeon pose, so crossing your left ankle over your right thigh, leaving your foot down, putting a block underneath it, or raising your right leg so you can hold your leg. And then again, draw both your legs towards you, entering into a good, deep left hip opener. Deep breath in and clear that out. While holding your left knee into your body, straighten your right leg down your mat and recline spinal twist. So this time your left leg goes to the right and your gaze turns to the left. The option, again, I'll repeat, is to bring your right leg underneath the left leg so both are bent. And I just find this is a little bit, well, for me, it's actually quite a bit less intense. And so right now with my current state in my body, I'm finding that I need to give myself a little bit more time with my low back to warm things up, to get things mobilized before asking it to go into more dramatic positions. deeper angles, deeper stretches. I really want to be kind to myself and not push too far, too fast. And I encourage you to read your own body and do the same if necessary. Take one more deep breath in and sigh your breath out. Okay, bring your knees back up. Place your feet flat onto the mat. We'll take some spine mobilizers before we come up onto all fours. So laying on your back, your feet are now about pelvis width apart. And imagine that your spine is a length of chain that's laid out onto the floor, and every one of your vertebrae is a single link in that chain. Now, what I'm going to ask you to do is be really intentional, really deliberate with this. So imagine that you're picking your spine up link by link by link off of the floor. Begin by imprinting your low back into the mat. So the hollow of the low back releases, your lumbar spine is pressing into the floor. And you'll notice that you rock on your sacrum when you do this. Your tailbone, it lifts up. And then release, rock in the opposite direction on your sacrum. And there's now probably a small gap between your lumbar spine and the floor. And your tailbone now is closer to the floor. So do that a couple more times, just rocking the pelvic bowl, rocking on the sacrum. Okay, now this next time when you imprint your sacrum onto the ground, press down with your feet and slowly, so now we're gonna do the chain length lift. So slowly, slowly, slowly raise your spine up off of the floor. And then link by link, bone by bone, slowly lay your spine, the chain of your spine, back down onto the mat. So being very deliberate and intentional with the movement. Take your time with this. If you need more time than the pacing I'm taking, go for it. I don't recommend going much faster though, because when we speed things up, we tend to lose that mind-body connection and we just start going through the motions. This is a really therapeutic movement for your spine. So while you're here, be deliberate with it. Be intentional with it. Get the benefits from the movement that you're seeking, that your spine really appreciates. We're giving it a bit of joint spacing here. Okay, that should do for now. Come over onto your hands and your knees. And once you're on your hands and your knees, you're going to take that same movement, the spinal flexion and extension. And now we're going to just take it through cat-cow. So as you exhale, round your spine up towards the ceiling. And as you inhale, drop down your belly and reach forward and up with your heart. Repeat, exhale, round your back up into the space above you. And inhale, arc your back. Good, keep moving like this. So developing your breath even more so as you move. Breathing in through the nose on the inhale. And breathing out through the nose on your exhale. Come back to a neutral spine. You're in a tabletop position with your feet tucked under. Grip down with all of your finger pads and have each of your fingers spread wide apart from the next. So the hands grip down and the navel draw into the spine. Just barely pick your knees up off of the floor. So we're in a hovering tabletop position. Take a deep breath in. And then as you breathe out, raise up your hips for quite a short downward facing dog. And then inhale, come back to the hovering tabletop. And exhale, slow lift of your hips, short dog. Repeat that a few more times. Inhale to hover. Exhale to lift the hips and stretch. Inhale to hover. Ride the breath up and back. Short downward facing dog. Go one more time to hover. And this last time, go into the short dog and just pause there momentarily. Walk your hands back to your feet now. And once you're there, have your feet even to each other, parallel to one another, and about pelvis width apart. Allow for your knees to bend quite generously so your ribs are maybe sitting right down onto your thigh tops. Wrap your arms into each other and really give the weight of your head towards the ground. So the weight of the head, when you let it drop like that, it will help to bring traction into your spine. Perhaps the legs become a touch straighter. Let the breath be bigger. The letting go of the exhale is bolder. Take one more deep breath in. Let down your arms when you breathe out. Leave softness in the bends of your knees. And now take yourself up, rolling up to stand, bone by bone by bone. Really articulate the movement in your spine. The head comes up last, as though it's like a little bit of an afterthought. Mountain pose, Tadasana. Now inhale, take your arms up into the air. And exhale, drag your hands down in front of your heart. Repeat that. Arms go up, breathe in. And draw down your hands as you breathe out. One more time, raise your arms up, inhaling. Forward, dive down to the ground as you exhale. Take a halfway rise, breathe in. Walk your hands forward, downward facing dog as you breathe out. Inhale, take a plank position. Set your knees to the floor, but maintain a straight line from your knee to your hip to your armpit. So you're not letting the pelvis drop to the floor, causing sag in the low back. Neither are you sticking your butt back, but really work at bringing that diagonal line into the body. One more inhale here. Break bends in your elbows and set your chest to the floor between your hands. Tack the tops of your feet down and strengthen your legs. Hover your hands just barely and really bring your shoulder blades onto your back and down your back. And then bring them onto your back so much that your chest lifts. So it's a hovering cobra pose. When you exhale, set your chest and your hands to the floor. Remain active in the legs. This time, leave down your hands for a touch of support. Lift up a little higher, cobra pose, Bhujangasana. Exhale, bring yourself back down. One last time, snake your way up. Inhale, cobra pose. And ease yourself to the floor mat. Exhale. Retuck your feet. Press your arms straight. Kneeling plank. Inhale. And downward facing dog. Exhale. Hold your downward dog. And yes, this is a longer dog than those first few rounds we did at the start of class, or just a little earlier. But step into the challenge of this. Feel how your body has the strength, or at least is developing the strength to support you and to bring more spaciousness into your body. Raise your right leg now. Inhale. Stay put. Exhale, but draw your front ribs in. Inhale, come to a three-legged plank. So shoulders are over top of the wrists. Drag your knee to your chest when you exhale. Kick straight back, three-legged plank. Now kick up and back. Exhale, three-legged dog. We'll do that 3 more times. Come forward, breathe in. Knee to your chest when you breathe out. Kick straight back, inhale. Up and back as you exhale. Come forward, this is the last time. Breathe in. Knee to your chest, step forward your right foot. Lower your back knee and now come up to a kneeling lunge. Inhale, the arms towards the ceiling. Hold here, full breath in. Now when you breathe out, tilt forward your chest and sweep back your arms. Movement with breath. Raise your arms up. Inhale, kneeling lunge. And exhale, chest forward, arms go back. Rise again, kneeling lunge. Breathe in. Chest forward, arms back as you breathe out. One last time, come up, inhale. And now when you exhale, find the floor with your hands. We'll take a half split pose. I'm going to use my blocks for this. So work your right leg gradually more straight. And stick your right toes straight up into the air. So you'll probably notice I've got a decent bend in my right knee, and I'm gonna be okay with that because my hamstrings and my low back are, like the whole back line of my body is a little tight these days. So I'm gonna give that allowance. I'm gonna let my body speak to me. I'm gonna let my body versus my mind tell me what's up. And the blocks I just find are really nice. They're nice on my wrist. And if I want to go a little deeper, even with the blocks, I just simply bend my elbows and that takes me down a little further into the pose. Wherever you're at, give your breath to the posture, give your breath to the body. Let the tension start to drain out of you. Whatever you're holding on to physically, whatever you're holding on to mentally, emotionally, it stores in the body. And the movement, the postures of yoga, the movement of yoga, the movement of the body, period, helps to release that. And paying attention, being present with that release helps us to process on much deeper levels. Take one more deep breath in. When you exhale, step your right knee back beside your left knee and come into a child's pose. Notice that I still have my feet tucked under. Please do the same if you can. Take a deep breath in and clear your exhale out. Good. Sit up now onto your knees. Once on your knees, reach your arms out in front of you and wrap your right arm underneath your left arm. So we'll take on an eagle arm position. If that's not possible for you, try pinning your palms and your elbows into each other. Alternatively, hug yourself. So with the right arm crossed beneath the left, if you're doing full eagle, draw your shoulder blades down your back and then push your arms forward so the shoulder blades come forward as well. Now you can do this while sitting onto your heels the whole time, or when you inhale, stand onto your knees, the tailbone, anchor it towards the floor, and a gentle arc of the spine. Exhale, lower your bum back to your heels and round your back. The objective is not to touch your arms to your legs, okay? It's like a cat pose instead. Inhale, rising up, tilt the heart up, tailbone anchors. And exhale, round again. Rise up on your inhale breath. And round again, exhale. Come up and breathe, and last time, come down, breathe out. And wrap your arms, rise up, inhale. Child's pose, exhale. With the hands reach forward, come to a kneeling plank, breathe in. Lower all the way down to the ground again as you breathe out. Tent your fingers off your mat to the left and to the right. With firmed legs, peel your chest from the mat. So King Cobra pose. Inhale. And then snake your way back to the ground as you exhale. Come up again, turn to your left, inhaling. And center and down as you exhale. Now up and turn to the right, breathe in. Center down as you breathe out. Replace your hands onto the mat. Kneeling plank, inhale. And downward facing dog, exhale. Raise now your left leg up, three-legged dog. Pull in your front ribs so you eliminate the sway in the low back. Deliberately breathe forward, three-legged plank. Exhale, pull your knee towards your chest. Kick straight back, inhale. Up and back, exhale. Come forward again, breathe in. Knee to your chest, breathe out. Kick straight back. Kick up and back, last time. Inhale, come forward. Knee forward, step forward. Bring your right knee to the ground. Kneeling lunge, rise up, inhale, breath. Get set, exhale. Inhale, fill the ribs. And when you exhale, chest forward, swing back the arms. Rise on the inhale, kneeling lunge. Chest forward, arms back, exhale. Come up and breathe in. Chest forward, arms back, and breathe out. Last time, come on up, inhale. And then hands to the floor or hands to blocks. Find the straightness of your left leg. Or your version of straight, so that half split position. I'm trying to have my right hip over top of my right knee here. So for me on this side, I notice I've got to adjust my left heel forward a bit to do that. If you're without blocks and you're quite stiff, an option I should have suggested on the previous side is to sit back onto your heel, provided that it doesn't cause pain in your knee, okay? Wherever you're at, floss the tension out using your breath rhythm. Take one more deep breath in. Sigh your breath out. Child's pose, your left knee lands beside your right knee. Arms outstretched forward, deep breath in. And sigh out. Sit up onto your heels. This time, start with your arms reaching forward. Wrap your left arm underneath your right. Or hug yourself or pin your arms together. Stand onto your knees on your inhale, so tilt down the tailbone and lift up the chest and arms. And then exhale, lower your bum and round your back bow. Rise, inhale your breath. And round, exhale. Rise, inhale your breath. And round, exhale. Up again. And round again. Unravel, raise up your arms, inhale. Child's pose, exhale. Inhale, come forward to a kneeling plank. Exhale, lower just part way down to the ground. Now scoop your chest forward and up. You might lift your knees for a full upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a full breath in. Sigh out. Now take mid-sized steps. Walk your feet forward. So really you're saying hello hamstrings again, at least I am. So slow, deliberate, mid-sized steps. I also find in this my core is also activating. Okay, once your feet are at the top of your mat, halfway rise, inhale. Forward bow, exhale. Grab your hands to your hips, pin back your shoulder blades. And as you drive your feet down, take your spine forward and up to stand. Tadasana. Inhale, lift your arms up and overhead. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Lift your arms again and breathe in. Forward fold as you breathe out. Halfway rise, inhale your breath. Fingers down, step your right foot back, exhale. Once your right foot lands, turn your foot sideways so your heel touches down. Both feet are perpendicular to each other. And now take your right arm forward and slowly windmill up into warrior two. Once you're up into the shape, bring your hands onto your hips and feel that your shoulders are over top of your hips and therefore your hands. That's why we're using the hands as landmarks. Squeeze your left knee open so you can see your left big toe. And then your arms, they take a T shape. Relax your shoulder blades onto your back. And now, if it's possible, shut your eyes and move your breath, picture your breath moving up the column of the spine and down the column of the spine. So the breath is fleshing the body and it's charging the body. Let there be a rhythm to this breath movement. Let there be awareness to the breath movement. Take one more deep breath in. Stay put, breathe out. Turn over your left hand, raise it up to the ceiling, exalted warrior. Really put emphasis in lifting the left side of your ribs. So as you raise the left side of your ribs, keep the front ribs tacked down. Let the top ridge of your shoulder relax. Let the breath find its way. Take one more deep breath in. Now come into side angle pose. Lightly prop your left arm onto your leg. So you're not leaning down onto your leg, but lift up out of your shoulder joint. You can leave your right hand where it's at or take it up or potentially angle it forward so it's passing your earlobe. Find your breath again. Deep breath in and deep breath out. Find an ease in your effort. Take one more deep breath in. Stay, breathe out. Come back up, warrior two, and then exalted warrior. Return your left arm to the ceiling. Inhale. Now cartwheel your hands to the top of your mat. Step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, come to a plank or kneeling plank. Exhale, lower halfway or fully down. Upward dog or cobra pose. Let your back be without pain. And exhale, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Raise your right leg, please. Inhale. Steady and firm your core. Exhale. Three-legged plank, come forward. Bring your knee to your chest. Step forward with your right foot. Lower your back knee. Kneeling lunge, rise up. Inhale. T-shape your arms as you exhale. Grow up with your spine, breathe in. And now rotate to your right as you breathe out. Trim your right sit bone towards your left inner thigh so the hips remain more level. Now, this is a great option to stay in, especially if you have low back stuff going on. Otherwise, bring together the palms of your hands and then clip your elbow, your left elbow, to the outside of your right knee.
Draw the navel in and rotate a little bit more, the chest up towards the ceiling. Whatever shape you're in, be breathing. Now, see if you can straighten your back leg. So whether you're in the revolved lunge or the more upright position, see if you can straighten or at least hover your back knee from the floor. Take one more deep breath in. Wherever you're at, bring your hands to the top of your mat, breathe out. And then step forward with your left foot, inhale. Bow down, exhale. Hands grip your hips, shoulder blades pin back. Take your spine forward and up to stand. Inhale your breath. And exhale, Tadasana, mountain pose. Shut your eyes and just have a moment to breathe right where you're at, to feel into your body right where it's at today. Let's do the other side now. Arms rise up, breathe in. And forward bow as you breathe out. Halfway rise, inhale. Fingers down, step your left foot back as you exhale. Once it touches down, turn it sideways. Feet are perpendicular. Take your left arm forward and then slowly windmill up into warrior two. Start with the hands on the hips. Tilt your sacrum down just a little bit and feel the shoulders come over top of your rib cage. Squeeze open your right knee. There's a tendency for the knee to tilt inward. And then take your arms into T shape. So really working at building the foundation of the shape first. Keeping the shoulders soft, your jaw soft, and the breath is strong but soft, okay? You've got this, keep breathing. Okay, turn over your right hand, exalted warrior. So as you take your right arm up, let the left hand lightly land on your back leg. Lift up through the right side of the ribs. Stay in the bend of your front knee. Stay in your breath. Deep breath in, deep breath out. One more inhale. We're coming into side angle pose next. So as you exhale, let your right elbow lightly prop onto your leg. Your left hand can stay on its hip or take the left arm straight up or go ahead and angle your left arm forward. Wherever you're at, draw your front ribs in so this doesn't turn into a back bend. Good. Now encourage a deeper, more intentional breath. Hang in there, keep breathing. One more inhale. Slowly stand up, exhale. And then breathe in, take the right arm to the ceiling, exalted warrior. And then cartwheel forward your hands, step back, downward facing dog. You can always skip the vinyasa, otherwise come with me. Inhale, plank or kneeling plank. Lower on your exhale. Take your time slowly, upward dog or cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. Raise your left leg up, please. Breathe in. Hold it there. Breathe out from the core, like you're in a corset. Inhale, three-legged plank. Draw your knee to your chest. Exhale, and then step forward. Lower your back knee, kneeling lunge. Come up with the arms on the inhale. Exhale, T-shape your arms. Breathe in, and then rotate to your left. So keep your shoulders over the hips. Find stability. stay where you're at, whoop, or take your hands into prayer. Duck your right elbow outside of your left knee. The whole time you're bringing your left sit bone underneath you, like drawing it towards your inner thigh. You'll feel how that presses your knee against your arm. That's good. So you're not collapsing through the groin. Work at stabilizing your body by stabilizing your breath, stabilizing your mind. So you'll recall the option here now is to straighten your back leg, coming into full revolve lunge, or coming up into that spiral lunge, I like to call this, where the spine is upright and you're still twisting. Whew. Take one more deep breath in. When you exhale, cartwheel forward your hands. Step your right foot beside your left foot. Inhale, long back. Exhale, bow yourself down. Repeat that halfway rise and sigh, bow down, exhale. Okay. So now in your forward fold, reach down and measure about 2 fists of distance between your feet. So you'll have to bend your knees. Unless you have really long arms, you're gonna have to bend your knees to put your fists on the floor. So let that happen. You'll notice with me, I've got like a pretty firm contact point between my ribs and my thighs. And then from here, make peace fingers, wrap them around your big toes, and you're gonna bend your elbows left and right. I'm gonna face forward again on this. So elbows bend left and right. With time, I'm going to, well, first of all, with my elbows bending, I'm gonna draw my shoulder blades towards my butt. I'm gonna let my head hang. And then I might consider making my legs a little straighter. So what I can notice right now is even though I have myself contorted into a position, when I bring more emphasis to the position with my breath, there's more release. There's like little nuances of release that I'm not sure I could actually get into physically, just by physically moving my body with a posture is what I mean. But instead, I'm gonna use my breath to create the shifts in my body. I'm gonna use my breath to create the shifts in my mind. Take one more deep breath in, clear out, unwrap your toes, and then just sway your hips a little side to side. Now from here, widen your feet to about mat width apart and then turn out your toes. I'm gonna ask you to slowly, mindfully, be careful with your knees, squat down. Now, if squatting down is uncomfortable for your knees, you can sit right onto the floor or you can prop your bum with a block, okay? So I'm gonna sit right onto the floor, arms on the insides of the knees if possible. Pin your shoulder blades onto your back. So this brings your chest up. It opens the heart, it opens across the chest. So really utilize that space with your breath. Change my mind. I'm gonna come up into the squat. Okay. Take your right fingers to the mat beside you. You could also put a block underneath your hand if the floor feels out of reach. This can be done with your bum on the ground too. So the right arm pins the right knee open, and then with your left elbow or palm, guide your left knee open and turn your chest up to the left. The next option for add-in is to take your left arm up, wrap it behind your back for half a bind, or close the gap between your hands for a full bind. Take a deep breath in. Good. Release that, breathe out. Come into the second side. So you're gonna cross your left arm in front of your left leg. With your right palm or elbow, push your knee away. So these are all stages you can stay at, no problem. If you wanna keep adding on like I'll do, take your right arm up, wrap it behind your back. Feel into the half bind first. I can already tell I'm a little tighter with the shoulder, so I feel comfortable to explore the full bind. It's a little tight for me today, so I'm gonna leave the full bind out and opt for the half bind. So I'm not letting my mind dictate my practice. So historically, making a full bind has been no problem for me. So it's the mind's first response is to go into what it knows. But right now, my body is asking for something different. My body knows better. So I want to reinforce my body's communication, rather than just moving always from habit. There's so much to learn in the unknown. Okay, release that. Come down onto the ground with your bum. Sit pretty casually, legs are bent. I like to actually let my shoulders wrap forward in this. I just find it gives me a nice release between my shoulder blades, and I'm just gonna windshield wash in side to side. Just a few times here. Okay, come back to neutral. Bring your feet to about pelvis. Turn your hands so that your fingers are pointing forward. If you have shoulder issues, well, everybody, I'm gonna get you all to start here. Just lift your chest up and roll your shoulders back. So let the chest be presented. Now, either stay here or take altar pose. As long as it doesn't bring pain into your shoulders, especially that would be the rotator cuffs. We want to keep them safe. Lift your hips up and then, oh yeah, let the head hang back. One more breath in, head up, bum down, release. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and just give my legs a little hug here. Whew. How about pigeon pose? So if you have knee pain, I'm gonna get you to come back into that reclined position that we started with. So revisiting reclined pigeon. Otherwise, bring your right shin forward and your left leg, take it back behind you. You could prop your right hip with a block if that feels better for you. And I'm gonna sit upright for a second. In fact, I'm gonna sort of engage, draw my legs towards each other. And notice that when I did that, my whole pelvic bowl lifts off of the floor. And what I'm aiming for in that is I'm getting actually a little bit of a hip flexor release and hopefully a psoas release. My psoas muscles are quite tight. So I find that this helps to get in nice and deep into the hip flexor grouping. And now I'm gonna go ahead and relax down. As I cued at the beginning of class, let your mind sweep through the body, wander through the body, and find its way to the parts of you where you're holding on. Now, physical tension, we often just chalk it up as that physical tension, but The truth is that we hold a lot of emotional tension, psychological tension in ourselves and our body. So when we find those pockets in our body where we just feel tight or stuck, it can be more than just, oh, I worked my hip too hard yesterday, or I sat funny for the day. It can be a lot more than that. So just let your mind land onto that section, onto that area, without trying to solve, but just let it be there. Let your mind be with your body. Let your breath be with your body. And let the tension be coaxed out just by simply observing. One more deep breath in. Clear it out. If you need a little bit more time here, take it. When you're ready, just go ahead and swap sides. So if you're reclined, change to the second side. You don't have to get up for that. Bring the left hip into the stretch position, the left leg into the stretch position. Oh, I'm gonna start upright first. So trying to keep things as even as possible. So I'm going to drag my legs towards each other as though they're magnetized, and that gives me that sort of upward lift. Okay, now I'm going to settle down. The tension I feel in my hip. I try to move my breath there as though my lungs reach into my hip socket. So right now I'm specifically targeting my left hip as though my left lung is oversized, as though it's growing in and around the hip joint. Take a deep breath in. Sigh your breath out. Do that again. Inhale. Let something go, known or unknown. Let it go. Breathe it out. If you'd like to stay longer on the second side, please, by all means do. Otherwise, come up and come to lay onto your back again. So we'll go right back to where we started, lying with your knees bent, feet about mat width apart on the floor. Find an arm position that suits and slowly windshield wash your shins side to side. Now you can keep washing your shins side to side, or go ahead and let your knees flop to one side and stay there.
Let out an exhale from your mouth if it feels true to you. Knees come up and then let them drop over to the opposite side. Try to let your legs be really heavy. Deep breath in, clear exhale. Okay, bring your knees up. Happy baby without grabbing your legs yet. Just direct your knees towards your armpits. Stick your feet up. And then choose the grip that doesn't require you to reach or strain. So it could be the feet, but it might be the ankles, the calves, or the hamstrings. And then gradually draw down. You might rock a little side to side. You might stay still. If it feels suitable for you, you might entertain the idea of kicking one leg sort of straight, or perhaps for you it's completely straight. I'm more in the sorta category right now. I'm kicking out to the side while keeping my left leg bent, so the right leg is sort of straight. My left leg is still in that half happy baby position. Come back to the bend in the right leg and then see about working the left leg sort of straight or very straight, maybe for you, not for me. Okay, release both feet back to the floor. Let them land to more mat width apart. And one more time, we'll slowly bridge the hips up. But again, take that movement like you're picking up a length of chain. So slowly, 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 slowly bridge up. Hold at the top for just a moment. And now slowly bring the chain of the spine back down onto the ground. Next is Shavasana. I'm going to take a block and do a propped Shavasana. So I'll set the block on its lowest height underneath my sacrum. And I'm going to test the waters first by keeping my legs bent, and then that feels okay for me. So from there, I'm going to go ahead and straighten my legs out. Okay, get yourself positioned for integration. Your nervous system is soothed, your brain waves are slowed, your joints have a greater range of motion, they're more free, there's more space in them. The mind more clear, the lungs more clear. Allow all of this to come together. Allow for a being because there's nothing to do. Allow for a being because being is all there is. stay here for as long as you like. When you're ready to come out, to close your practice, do so slowly with intentional transition. So finding your breath first, and then small movements. You might want to turn onto your side for a fetal position. Some of you will hug your knees in before doing that. It's totally up to you. Eventually, bring yourself up to seated. And take a moment here with your eyes shut. So still transitioning. The transition is so important because it's a way of leading the practice, inviting the practice to come away with you, to come with you off of your mat, so that it can be in service to you as you move through your life, your day-to-day. It can be in service to you for your decisions, because it's a way of bringing in the calm nervous system, a slower brain wave, so that choices, decisions, responses are sourced from within, are sourced from a calm, from a clear understanding, or at least a clearer understanding and a calmer place. Because here, when you are integrated and when you draw the practice forward with you into life, you're acting, you're stepping forward, you're actioning in a way that is truly yours. Thank you.